sizzle reel. I usually demand it in slow motion to Pavarotti as I grab Jennifer Aniston's boobs and We're the Millers, because that's my legacy for my children. First of all, I really want to thank you for this incredible honor. I am just so filled with humility. Tori Mitchell, thank you for that dear introduction, you cutie. That sizzle reel was really fab. And I really want to especially thank HRC's president, Kelly Robinson. Goosebumps for having me and also for devoting your life to fairness and justice. To so many in this room that are doing just that, I am filled with gratitude. So here we are in this gorgeous room. I don't know about you, but it was a fever dream to get dressed up this evening and try to slap some makeup on. I had 2 speeches prepared pre-election day, and I'm not going to read the other one because I wouldn't be able to stop crying, and nobody needs to see her up here in her borrowed Stella McCartney with snot dripping down the front of it, or just staring into space while some beautiful angel would gently guide her off stage with a montage playing again behind her, blasting YMCA. Sidebar, don't take YMCA away from us, you asshole. But here we are. And I guess how could we be surprised? The universe doesn't give us anything that we can't handle, but Jesus Christ. The last time I had the pleasure of speaking in front of you, it was in Atlanta, and my dear uncle, my godfather, and his partner of over 20 years had just driven to Vermont with my mom, who was the flower girl, to get married. It had just become legal in Vermont, and they couldn't do it in Ohio in front of their families and the people who loved them more than anything. And they had waited for so long, hoping, yet my home state continued to see their love as illegal. This election, as we've said so many times this evening, there's so many beautiful themes that have run through all of this, is it's going to take time to process and to heal from, and that we have to give ourselves that process. How did we land here again? I mean, I remember feeling a little like a fool that night. I felt just blinded by the belief that decency is going to fucking prevail. It just has to. I felt very naive, that even in the power that is that small group of rich white dudes, at least democracy matters more than money and power. That's why I was always proud to have been born in this, in my mind, the greatest country in the world. I do not understand what is happening. I have a son who voted for the first time this election. I know. And I have a 15-year-old daughter who, like Hillary, when Hillary was up, she held on to the very bitter end. She kept coming and showing us stories about the red mirage as the map got redder and redder. She's 15. And she just came up to us saying, it's always right at the beginning. It always is Republican at the beginning. It's called the red mirage. So she was trying to build us up. But in terms of processing, let's just take that time. It's so important that through mourning, we don't harden up and get resentful and further divide, which does not seem like it's going to happen in this room. So self-care, and then get back to the business of living our lives, because some higher power is saying, this is our path. You won't know why or how until you're on the other side. We just won't know until we know. My friend, this Rosh Hashanah, had heard a theory about why we eat apples and honey. And she heard that it was because they're both sweet, that there is sweetness in the best of times and there is sweetness in the worst. So once we wipe the shock from our eyes, let's focus on the sweetness and of the gains of Sarah McBride, as we've talked about so much in this room. And the sweetness of knowing that the Senate will have 2 black women serving simultaneously for the first time. We have one life to live on this planet, and we all happen to find ourselves on this part of the timeline. This had been determined long, long before we were a thought in our parents' minds. Our tiny chapter on this planet has found freedom of authenticity and expression when it was really not there even a generation ago. So this particular moment feels very, very apocalyptic. But I feel that we are moving forward if we continue to live through love. Love that cannot be taken away. It's no one's business who or how we love, and this must start with ourselves. So beauties, you beauties, that is the most difficult and the most important thing, to know that we are worthy of love. You are important. I am important. Our footprint on this earth is a part of its timeline. Continue to be loud, loud, loud. You have to be the sun, be in the sun. I want the scared people in power who are so afraid of being themselves and are so afraid of being loved for who they are to know that they are loved. They're loved too. That they also just have one life. It's all going to be okay for you guys. Everyone just chill out. There are so many more important issues to be enraged about right now than love. Don't you wish you could just fucking scream that into their ears? That the world is on fire. That the axis of evil that we kept hearing about actually turns out to be real. That what they are being fed about the meaning of democracy is a lie. That decency and love and community and loving your neighbor as yourself is actually for real. Love yourself. Such dry mouth right now. So I hope we can all remember being in this room together this night on this week, the Saturday after the election of 2024, and remember the fear and anger and uncertainty and community, and remember how a part of history we are and were. We have been there before, and we will be there again. I think we're here on the precipice of really great change. I know I'm naive as well, but I really fucking feel it. We are all witches. All of us. Anybody who uses the phrase witch hunt, unless you are a human afraid for your life because you are who you are a fucking idiot. This room and us in it tonight is a spell. I think it is. I am so honored and so moved by this award. I really don't take any of this lightly, and I have your back. I'm so proud that you've called me an ally. You are loved. You are loved, and you are love. Thank you so much.